Thank you for this wonderful invitation. Well, my name is Mauricio Navarro, and I'm a career counselor, yes. I also a University of Costa Rica professor, yes. But above all of that, I am a person who has made several vocational choices, like the one you have to make in a very short time. And for this reason, I would like to begin by introducing myself a little bit for you. So the first part is called My Vocational Choices Story. Well, this part of it. Welcome. Good morning. So the truth is that I always had it very clear, as I will explain to you right now. When the Spanish teacher read my story, the story that I had written in front of the whole class, and filled it with praises, it was really clear, very clear for me. I'm going to dedicate myself to writing stories. I was 9 years old then, in third grade, and the story was about a pirate's adventures. But then, at the age of 14, the social studies teacher discovered my vocation when she found in my notebook the drawings I made in her classes, where I drew myself as the goalkeeper of the Costa Rica national team in a World Cup and of the Real Madrid in a Champions League final. And all told, certainly a Costa Rican guy of my age actually did achieve my dream. My name is not Keller Navas. Okay? So then in high school, when I visited the University of Costa Rica Vocational Fair for the first time, I came back super convinced. I'm going to be an engineer. A few months later, the same year, when I exempted myself from the psychology exam, and I asked the teacher to be able to take the exam, just because I really liked psychology, after listening to all her praises to me, it was very clear. I'm going to be a psychology teacher, just like her. Then in 11th grade, things got a little complicated for me, since we started a school newspaper with a group of classmates, and well, then it was really clear, I'm gonna study journalism. I really love that newspaper. So I kept doing that until the vocational guidance, like the one you are receiving this week, classes arrived. When the school counselor brought us the famous professional cards of the careers, and then I read something that convinced me, I still remember it. It went like this. The public administrator is an agent of change. No phrase could have described me better than how I felt when I was 7 years old. I felt like I am an agent of change. So I was determined. I will study public administration. But then the result of the admission exam finally arrived. The UCR admission exam finally arrived. And I obtained the grade to be able to enter any UCR career. And then my family told me very clear, you have to study medicine, since it's the highest grade and you can enter that. Also, there are no doctors in the family yet. Take advantage of that opportunity that God is giving to you. But that was easier for me, since it was clear that I just see some blood and I fainted. So medicine was not my path. The thing is that the time to enter university finally arrived. And then I enrolled in business management in school. And that very first year of university, I was very clear. I'm going to create some successful startups that will give me a lot of money. And that illusion lasted until I fell into a hospital bed with an emergency operation to save my life. Because, at least in part, by the level of anxiety I managed at just 18 years old. Then the 3-month recovery came. And that made me reflect on a career change. And then the first career change came. The thing is that I got in teaching mathematics at the UNED, Universidad de Distancia. I always liked numbers. Everything was going good until a person who was very close to me at that time said something great. Do you imagine yourself reviewing 100 exams in a weekend? Right there, I left the career behind. But there was still an opportunity to change career between the UCR. So I decided to go to the counseling office at the university. And among the final options of my educational process was the career guidance. And well, I enrolled that for the following years. The truth is that I entered the first day of classes with certain reservations. But also the truth is that I like it a lot, since I got a bachelor's degree in counseling. But then I also studied some human resources courses, educational administration, and so on. And I could go on, but I think at this point you got my message, right? Didn't you? You got my message. In case you have any doubts, today I want to give you about 10 or 12 recommendations when choosing a career. So number one, you won't be able to monetize all your patients, and you don't really have to do that, okay? Going back to my very short football career, soccer, I call it football of course, to my very short football career, although football has never fed me, has never given me money, I am convinced that not everything has to be monetized. The truth is that I continue playing, and I had the opportunity to play several finals on various tournaments. Some I lost, but others we also won. Even some with decisive penalty saves in the final shutout. I was a goalkeeper, a great goalkeeper. It won't be like saving a penalty in a World Cup, as now as of course, or in the Champions League final. But the emotion it provoked in me was pretty similar. And my memories of those moments are my greatest glories in my sporting career. What I am trying to tell you is that just because your patients don't fit you, don't give them up. Instead, try to reconcile your present so that you can continue practicing what you are passionate about, what you love, at least a little, for the rest of your life. I'm talking about integration. Somehow, you need to integrate your passion in your life design. And this could not necessarily be that give you money, okay? Not necessarily, remember that. Well, you may have to study or work wherever you can. I hope that the experience that you live with your patients, at least at some times in your life, will help you to make life more colorful. That's called reconciliating your patient with your reality. So that was number one. Number two of my recommendations. In the age of artificial intelligence, make it your ally. It is a reality that technology in general and artificial intelligence in particular have come to continue changing the world of careers, replacing human beings in many work tasks and generating new career options. A lot of people get angry about that. My recommendation is that the faster you incorporate artificial intelligence into your career tasks, letting technology to optimize tasks, and doing you, that are human, what human can do better, the better for you. And you concentrate on doing that robots can't do. I mean, the most human part of your work will be that related to the human relationships, creativity, intuition, bones, artistics, and so on. So let the machine do the machine things. Let's do human things. Okay, number three. Career is not the most important thing in your life. I'm going to repeat that. Career is not the most important thing in your life. Life is about fitting career into your life and not the other way around. I mean, don't stop living your life for a career. Time for your family, for your friends, for spirituality, and for partner relationships are very important, and you should not waste them completely. Although they will undoubtedly have to be sacrificed a little bit for a career. As well as your non-monetizable hobbies, your creation, just for the love of what you do. And your free time hobbies are also important. Be careful, I didn't say balance. I say consolidate, integrate, but not balance. That's impossible. Balance is an utopia. Does not exist, okay? In addition, as the years go by, you will realize that you are going to study several things, to work in several places, and to do various tasks. And all of them will shape your career trajectory. That is why that what you are going to study now, or the next year, or 2 years from now, will possibly become your base or your reference career. But then life will invite you to diversify along paths that you cannot imagine now, and you should not imagine now. You do not need to imagine them. Just go on one step at a time. Number 4, skills. Skills can be developed in life, and they are not to be put for myself, but for the service of others. It is true, practice is what makes the master. But please let me highlight this point, because it is il cuore from my messages. I study at Italy, my PhD degree, so it is il cuore from my messages. That means il cuore del mio messaggio. It's, as Italians say, no? The most important thing of my message is this. So please pay attention to me right now. Sometimes we think about vocation like a kind of inner voice, an inner call that you should be aware of in order to hear from that inner voice what you should do with your life. And that is true, certainly, but it's just partially true. And why just partially true? Well, mainly for 2 reasons. First of all, it is difficult to learn how to hear your voice. And actually, not everybody knows how to do that. You need practice. Practice makes masters. But you need time for that. Sometimes you need more years in order to learn how to hear your inner voice. And second, and more important, there is not just an inner call, not just an inner voice, but also you have some outer voices. I mean, outer calls that you can hear easier, and they will tell you clearly what you should do with your life. And I'm talking about getting out of your comfort zone. I'm talking about getting out of your box and go in the search of the others, in the search of the needs of humanity. And that's the key. And that's the clue. Look, for example, for real people who are experiencing poverty, hungry, emotional problems, difficulties in accessibility to medicines or food or education. Look for climate change solutions, for financial issues, for gender difficulties, and so on. And there, in the outer calls, in the needs of others, you will find some social and ambiental or political causes. Okay? And that causes, that is the one that you can adopt. For what? For transform them to your causes. And that will be your career. That will be your life design. And that will be your outer voices that calls you. So my advice is, go out of yourself. Search for that needs of others. Okay, number 5. Be true to yourself. Be clear about your values, your non-negotiable minimums, your creative boundaries, or whatever you want to call it. But when you have to make a decision, don't betray yourself. No matter how much money or how much fame you have ahead of you, I assure you that if you have to betray yourself to do so, that's not your path. That's not the way you should go on. Number 6, have a more or less clear horizon and just walk toward it. The horizon is just, as I told you, your causes, your dreams, your deep desires. They're the ideals worth giving one's life for. The causes that really you can give life for. The path to reach the horizon is not always clear. In fact, it is always on a table. But the horizon helps us to walk. And life is about walking. That is about everything. Just walk. not to get to some point, but just to walk to that point, to that idea, to that utopia. And remember, even if you don't know how to get there, just take baby steps. That seems most, the baby step, the little, very little step that seems most logical to you at this moment of your life. And that, if you pay the attention, you will see the signs along the way. And you will just have to know how to identify that signs. Japanese wisdom sum it like this: when the disciple is ready, the master appears. And the Bible tells it like this: the wise men went out on the search of the Savior, and on their way, while they were on the search of the Savior, the star appeared to them, and it guided them. It appears after they begin to walk, not before. So if you do so, you will discover what transcendence is about in your life. Number 7, have as many experiences as possible now that you are young. Because only when you live, you get to know yourself better as a person. So volunteering, clubs, internships, camps, teams, auditions, groups, pro-social jobs, exchange, international exchange, and whatever experience you can have now that you are young, that will be always a good idea. So have as most experience as you can. Number 8, in a world of infinite opportunities, commit to something. This is important. Give yourself the opportunity to choose a career. You are not going to make a mistake, at least not completely. The truth is that the possibilities are endless, but life is not enough to live everything. It is enough to do many things, yes, but not all of them at the same time. So commit yourself to your current decision, to your current project of study, of work, at least for a while. Give things a chance. Give things time. Give time to things. Okay? Are you with me? Yes? Okay. Number 9, learn to embrace your reality. The future is built from the present. So try to be grateful with your life reality, even though if sometimes it is difficult. I know that. And you need to embrace your present. Number 10, try to have several sources of incomes. In other words, don't bet all your income on a professional career. Look for alternative business, passive incomes, opportunities different from your future salary as a professional. That's really important in our actual society that is full of uncertainty and change. Everything changes every day. Okay, we're gonna finish. We're at the end, very end of my discourse, I think. Number 11, no path is easy. And this is important. The universe is not going to give you everything, okay? So don't think you can ask the universe to give and that's bullshit, okay? There are some things that speakers say better than me. They're very eloquent. So they say something like this: you can choose the cards that life gives you. You can't do that. You cannot do that. Okay? Life is giving you the cards. But what you can do is to choose the game strategy that you are going to make with those cards you have. So that's the idea. Which are your cards? And what are you going to do with that? What is your strategy? Don't forget, if they promise you, like the universe, just ask the universe, and maybe it's going to be all right. If they promise you something really easy, really fast, really effortless, and will give you a lot of money, I can guarantee you something. That's not the way it sounds. It's bullshit. Okay? Remember that. Don't forget it. And number 12, and my last point, okay? My last point of today. Number 12. This is really important for you guys because this is something that you will live at your age. This is a characteristic of your generation, okay? So overcome the FOMO and FOBO discourses. and learn to live with the homo. What's that? Okay, with this I will conclude my words. Dear Jones, now probably you can hear a lot about the famous FOMO. That means, or that stands for fear of missing out. FOMO, fear of missing out. There's also another word, FOBO. That stands for fear of missing better options. So it's like a feeling, you know? I feel fear that I'm missing something, or I can get better option if I just wait a little bit. But the truth is that life has taught me a few things that I'm gonna share with you right now. You cannot know everything. You cannot have everything. You cannot take everything. You have to make decisions. You have to make choices. Freely, but with responsibility of them. Okay? You need to be responsible of your decisions, of your choices. I will never have all the information about something. You will never have all the information about something. That's impossible. That's simply impossible in our days, when every day information triplicate or quadruplicate. So don't look for all the information. That's impossible. That's a maximum. That is true. This one is true. Change. That's the truth. Everything changes. So there's no such things as Prince Charming of careers. You know, like the Prince Charming you're looking for, and neither in relationships, but that's another stuff. But in careers, there's not Prince Charming. Something I know is, and I always had told this to my students when I was a high school counselor. I was a high school counselor for more than 10 years. And I always told my students, if you got 75 or 80% of certainly, if that exists actually, but you feel like 75 secure about that, then go on. Go on. That's very, it looks like a good decision. No more than that. If you're looking for 99% of certainly, that does not exist. Okay? Probably you need more information. Okay? So with a 75%, go on. That's a good percentage, okay? And above all things, life has taught me that those inner voices of, and if I had done that, that voices accompany me all my life, until today. So I have decided, instead of continuing to try to silence that voices, I better learn to dance with them. And that's my advice. You need to learn how to dance with that voices. If I had done that instead of that, I'm gonna be with you all your life. And when you know that you will never be 100 sure about anything, but the life is about dancing with uncertainty, it's about walking, it's about searching, it's about seeing the signs, filling them with meaning, with your personal meaning, and continuing to walk. And above all, when you know that the decision to choose a career or change is very important, yes. So, to choose a career or to change a career path. That's very important, yes. But it is not decisive for the rest of your life. No, that's not true. It is just the academic project in which you are about to venture right now, today. But that will be temporary. And the one day it will end, will come. And other projects will come on as well. Other labor projects, study projects, and personal projects, family projects, and so on. They will come in the future. Then when you understand that, you can finally say homo. Remember FOMO and FOBO. But now you can say homo. And homo stands for, or jomo, I don't know how to say that, maybe jomo. The joy of missing out. Jomo, right? The joy of missing out. The joy of missing out. And that is that I rejoice myself in missing out on other things, because that can only mean that I am living. I am living what I can live, the best I can, and from my reality. It means that I live my present, and from there I resignify my past to build my future. And then, young people, after saying these words to you, I make one last invitation for you guys. If your life were a Netflix series, okay? And you were the writer of the next chapter, this is my invitation to think about. What title would you give to this chapter that is about to begin after high school? What would be the title of that chapter? I wish you the best. And above all, I wish that you could see the lights that illuminates your path to make decisions to live a life that is transcendental for you. You can search for my ideas at Google if you search Vida en Trascendencia blog. That's my personal blog, professional blog, Vida y Trascendencia. And that's my website where you can read more about what I write there. So thank you very much. And pura vida.